I've seen other moving companies get held hostage.
Welcome back to Movified. I'm your host, Mark Hirschi, owner of Salmon's Moving and Storage, located in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. And we are today in Nashville, Tennessee at the ATA Movers and Storage Conference 2025. And today we have Ryan Woods with the Horton Group. We are going to talk everything about insurance. I'm not as excited.
I'm excited about insurance, as you guys know.
He's so excited to talk about insurance, but welcome, Ryan. Happy to have you here, and welcome to Movified.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. No better place I'd rather be than Nashville, Tennessee right now with a bunch of moving and storage experts. So appreciate you guys for taking the time to have me on. Thank you.
Absolutely.
No problem. And I appreciate it, Ryan, because insurance is like a whole funny game, right? There's a lot of different companies.
Should we say about how we roped Ryan in to be on the podcast there?
Yeah, we bribed him. We say we're going to a distillery.
Yeah, Ryan on Edible does distillery.
Flipped in and says, nah, you know what? We're going to hold off, but let's sit down and do a podcast about insurance.
That's what they call it, the old rope and dope.
Yeah, that's right and switch.
Movified, the king of the rope.
We had a glass of bourbon talking about this to try and get this all in.
Yeah.
I wish can we pan out? I don't know if we can pan out or make sure we get this, but yesterday I remember running into Ryan in the elevator. He's like, I got cheaper shoes if we're going to go do some scooting.
Yep.
And then he comes back out and he's got these fantastic shoes on, and I'm looking at these boots and I just feel so underdressed. You've really come in, from a boy from Wisconsin to be like, I got my cowboy boots on. I'm ready to rock.
Fit right in on Broadway.
That's right.
Win in Nashville, right?
That's right.
I had to see the belt buckle and a cowboy hat, but that might be a little extreme. Who knows? One day left. We'll see what happens.
So let's kind of look
in real quick.
That's right. Let's get right into what got you involved in wanting to get into insurance?
Yeah.
And then how's it been? Like, what have you noticed is the trend with moving companies when it comes to insurance?
Yeah. So like most of us salespeople in insurance, I didn't choose it. It's kind of fell into it. So, I was in grad school, coaching the wrestling team, the Wisconsin Whitewater, and I was a broke grad school student.
Shout out.
UW Whitewater. Graduated from UW Parkside, wrestled there. Shout out Parkside. Little small Division II school in Kenosha. But anyways, so I was trying to get my master's degree, and first semester.
Don't mess with Ryan. Noted.
Yeah, duly noted. And I was broke, like most college kids. And one of the volunteer coaches on the UW Whitewater staff owns an insurance agency. I just said, hey man, is there anything I can do like this spring and summer to make some extra money? And he's like, yeah, come in and do some cold calling for me, and I'll pay you X amount per hour. And then every time you set a meeting, I'll give you like an extra, bonus incentive.
Sure.
So I started doing that. And then towards the end of the summer, I was like, hey, do you want a full-time job here? Sure. Sounds good to me, do that. And that was back in 2014. Here we are.
11 years.
So
11 years in insurance.
It's been a journey.
So you picked a person that knows a lot about insurance.
I guess I know enough to be a little bit dangerous, but
that's right.
I'm more so the business development sales guru than I am like the technical insurance nerd.
Yeah.
But I'm resourceful. So I grab the people when I need to.
So then what is one of those things that you notice when you're sitting down with a moving company? Usually, you're sitting down with the owner or someone that has, some.
How did you get into moving?
Leadership team.
How was that on insurance? How did you get into moving?
Yes. So the Horton Group, our moving and storage practice started back in 1987. We wrote our first moving client. And then from there, back then,
Poor guys got into moving.
Those individuals just kept calling on them. And
we needed help. We needed help.
And the Horton Group has established themselves as kind of a dominant force in that space. So I came over to the Horton Group, and one of our long tenured producers is nearing retirement. So I was like, hey, young man, is this something you're interested in? And I'm like, you know what? Blue collar mindset, kind of rough and tough around the edges. That's how I grew up. I said, I feel that's a good industry to get your hands dirty with. So that's how I got in the moving space.
Are you a mover looking to make an impact? Discover Moving Letters AI and join the ML Plus Club today. Elevate your customer engagement with the personal touch of handwritten letters.
If you want to take your company to that next level, it's the only way to subscribe. If you're doing anything but Moving Letters AI, you need to get on it. So it's going to take your business to that next level. You're going to see an increase in that revenue. Let's go.
I highly recommend using this company. They're amazing to work with. They even send you an email on how much work they're producing for you.
Don't miss out. Join the revolution and start making moves that matter.
Put a golden damn ticket in there with Moving Letters AI.
If you're considering Snowball, just do it.
Snowball creates done-for-you referral programs for moving companies so you can turn happy customers into new revenue without lifting a finger. And the results speak for themselves.
In less than a year, we've collected over 2,000 referrals.
We generated over $200,000 of revenue that cost about $5,000 to do it.
I believe we had 4 or 5 the very first day.
The companies winning with Snowball are the ones that already care about their customers. We just help turn that into new business through human outreach and customer nurturing.
Snowball is part of the arsenal of tools that I recommend to my clients because it works.
Yeah, it's interesting. I appreciate the question because, you know, when I ever think of insurance, especially in this sector, I automatically think, okay, this insurance company only works with moving companies.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that diversification within the insurance industry,
Yeah.
and then going, okay, I'm going to go into this niche market,
Right.
and we're going to really just control it, and taking control, you know, is a totally different ballgame as well,
Yeah.
too. So you're now working with movers, this blue collar
Yep.
industry. What was some of the things that you were noticing that movers were just overlooking when it came down to insurance?
Yeah, first off, I'm super empathetic to the industry as a whole right now. It's a tough space for movers, and it's increasingly getting more difficult. You know, there's a lot of movers that are, you know, either selling off or, you know, closing the doors or, you know, getting acquired, looking to sell their business. And so I'm very empathetic to the industry and passionate about trying to help, you know, these movers kind of make it through some of the distress that we're seeing. But I've just been noticing the insurance side of things. It's especially on the auto side, rates are increasing drastically. And movers are just trying to find a way to make it right now. And what I've noticed, if you're not diversifying and you're not innovating in a way, you're going to learn a painful lesson from someone who does, and that someone's your competitor. So that's what I'm seeing mostly. Is like you've got to be doing other things than just, you know, like your household goods or commercial moves, like the diversification. And there's some movers here, Good Greek Moving. I think they do a really good job of that. And from what I'm noticing for most of these organizations, if you're not diversifying, it's just tough right now. So
now when it comes down to the insurance side of things, what is something that also then gets, let me rephrase this. When you're going through the policies,
yeah,
what is one of the lines, what is one of the insurance policies that you always highly recommend that movers should have?
I think, you know, the auto side of the policy is the most important,
Sure.
right? But in terms of that, just making sure that there's no holes in your program. Like you always say, like a block of Swiss cheese with holes all in it, right? Like, you know, cyber liability, obviously your workers' compensation, your property coverage.
Cyber liability, that's a good one to stop on because that's a lot of times we are avoiding that as moving companies. I've signed up for it. I've seen other moving companies get held hostage.
Oh,
Well, yeah, I always feel like we're always like, just take that one out.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I've the other moving company, I won't say their name, but they woke up to a message, and all the employees woke up to a message on their computer that says, "Hey, we want $150,000 of your customer information go."
Yeah.
And they have credit. I mean, we have credit cards. We have the whole work. So what do? I don't know. I don't have $150,000 to tell my wife, "Hey, I got this." So insurance is huge on that. So that's a big. I just wanted to stop there and say cyber insurance is it's a growing problem. A lot of companies are getting held hostage with their information.
You hit the nail on the head with that. We're actually on the outside of that distress marketplace. Like cyber liability a few years ago was insane. Like some of the hoops that you had to jump through just to get a quote. I mean, nowadays, if you don't have MFA, multi-factor authentication, like you're not going to get a cyber liability quote. Okay. But we're like through that tough time. Like we've gone out, we've educated all these organizations now on the cyber piece, right? That at that point in time, it's kind of an afterthought where we are today. So we've kind of got that ironed out. Now it's just getting through the mess that we're in on the auto side of things, like social inflation. is killing the transportation industry right now. And there really isn't a whole lot like, I can do about that, right? Plaintiff friendly jury awards, like litigation, increased cost of litigation, like all of those things are really having an impact on auto rates and the number of catastrophic claims that we're seeing. And now you're starting to dip into the umbrella, which is also increasing insurance rates too. So we're doing everything we can, but that some of these vehicles units get a little bit more costly to fix, right? That's going to drive up claims. So we're making our way through it.
And we're driving billboard. I mean, in Memphis, if we get into an accident, I'm going to hear from them 364 days later. And I know that. And the prices are going higher and higher on those claims that they're asking for. It used to be well under $1 million. Now that's kind of not the norm. It seems like they're going over $1 million.
Yeah, absolutely, which is making umbrella pricing also increase because your underlying limits on the auto liability, those are getting tapped into, and now they're having to go in the umbrella. I mean, you think we see it all the time, sadly. I mean, you've got someone runs an intersection, you got a high net worth father, 2 kids in the back seat, and those can get costly.
Yeah,
real expensive.
So,
and have you seen situations like that come up? Or you're getting that phone call from that moving company?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
This is what happened.
Yeah. It happens a lot.
Yeah, really.
Yes, and it's
more often than we think.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then you got to think too. When we're competing for a piece of new business, we order loss runs, right? We get the loss runs from the company, so we also see 5 years of history and what's on there. And the auto claims are pretty nasty.
So let's walk through that. As a moving company and as our guests, as owners, we contact you. Is there a time? Should we do it 3 months for a renewal, or hey, I just signed, but I still want to talk? Should we just talk to you as soon as possible, or is there a certain time for renewal that we should?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think some people treat this as like a transaction, right? It's more of a transactional approach in nature. It's kind of what I've experienced just being out in the marketplace for 11 years now. It's
call you December 15th and go, hey, we need this policy.
Yeah, no, it's a process. It's constant communication with your broker. It's constant communication with the team. I mean, you're doing quarterly claim reviews, if not more often. Like you're getting in front of things, and too often, like it's like 90 days before renewal. Let's get together and have a conversation, right? Well, that should be kind of a daily, weekly. You're just engaged in the policy, and then that renewal doesn't really even become like a renewal anymore. It's like, yeah, you gotta schematically you have to renew the policy, right? But you've had so many conversations leading up to that to where you know what to expect, and you know what the indications are on the increase, if any, or any decreases. So I think it's just a communication with your agent and the team, right? So you're not getting a surprise at the 11th hour, which we see all the time.
All the time.
And you would think, like in the history of being in this business and all of us producers out there, don't you think you would like learn?
Yeah.
Like I just got a piece of new business January 1, and the owner of the organization was getting frustrated that he hadn't heard from his agent. I'm like, how have you not heard from your agent when you renewed January 1 and we're sitting here like middle of December? And then already puts an increase on his.
Yeah. When our eyes, we're looking at it like he's waiting to give us to us where we don't have other options, and he's giving us an increase the day of. Sure. Also, whoop has been my suits. Yeah.
That. Yeah. Like come from business owners. Like they know. But for whatever, and it's like my duty, obligation, responsibility to like share this with the marketplace. Like it doesn't have to be that way, and quite honestly, it shouldn't be that way.
And that's what I've been talking about to our audience is exactly what you're saying, guys. If you're talking to your underwriter, if you are literally just talking to your underwriter when it's time to renew, or maybe they bring donuts once a year, that's not the relationship. Don't hire your insurance buddy to support him. Hire somebody that brings value to your organization, that brings safety to the organization, and teaches you how to bring your numbers down and get that renewal easier and easier every year.
Being found on the second page of Google is literally like having a billboard in the middle of the desert. Your mama ain't gonna see it. No one's gonna see it. You're on the second page of Google. No one's gonna call. No one's gonna book. Here is the deal. If your business is not ranking on the top of Google, that means your competitors are going to be stealing your customers every single day. So at Rotate Digital, we don't play any guessing games. We use data-driven SEO strategies to make sure Google finds you first so that these Google searches turn into your customers, not your competitors' customers. How do we do it? We do it through AI-driven keyword optimization, exclusive blog networks, backlinking strategies, and honestly, the secret stuff, the proprietary lead attribution software. So what do you get as a result? You get not only good marketing, but now you get clarity into what is bringing you more revenue. So if that's something you want to do, you want to make sure your leads find you and not your competition, go ahead and go to rotatedigital.com, schedule a call, and we'll help you take your business to the top of Google.
Does the Horton Group support the USA and also Canada as well too?
Yes. We were August 1st acquired by Marsh McLennan Agency, which funnels up the Marsh, which is the largest broker in the world. So our breadth of capabilities and our resources just like that overnight expanded.
That's great for you. Yes, that's wonderful.
There's a lot of perks to it for sure. That being one of them. We got Marsh offices all across the country. But prior to the acquisition, I mean, we've 100 plus movers in just the Horton Group's portfolio, which the Horton Group was a smaller privately held organization. So we really did a good job of stepping our foot in the marketplace and making a name for ourselves. So
what's an area when you are going through, like for this example with this previous moving company owner, right, where hasn't heard from his rep, nothing's happening, you're now reviewing over his policy. Do you get in a situation where you're reviewing someone's policy, understanding their business and going, I have no idea why XYZ is on this list. We can actually save you money by tweaking it here or doing something differently there. And what are some of those examples?
That's a great question. So we got a pretty robust, coverage checklist, just that we've built specifically for movers. Like here over the years is what we've seen overlooked. Here's over the years on from a
Cab score.
Processes standpoint, like here is we got to plug all these holes. And I mean, it just goes back to the transactional approach to the business that a lot of people take, is it's just kind of when something happens and you take care of it, right? We're at us getting ahead of it. But it's even like the driver's list, right? The fleet of vehicles, like those type of things, you'd be surprised how often there's stuff overlooked. And there's units, vehicles, trucks on there that haven't been on the program and they're still paying for them.
Oh, bingo. Yeah, right.
Payrolls, things like that, updating payrolls. And then there's, monthly reporting, different options for workers' compensation, where instead of getting that big audit at the end of the year, you can monthly report, and you only get invoiced for the payrolls that you submit, right? So there's not that surprise audit that happens sometimes. There's just insurance it's very complex. It's like when people think of it, it's like, and that's why it's not the sexiest thing. People don't get too excited about it. I'm kind of surprised you guys are here with me today, to be honest with you, giving it. No.
I always talk about it because I've been impacted so much by it. I got into the assigned risk pool at one point in my career.
Yeah.
And I worked to pay my insurance.
You had your assigned risk pool trunks on.
Yeah, until I rebuilt it. So that's why I'm passionate about insurance myself.
Can you elaborate on that? Like, can you give us the background of how you got into that now?
Yes. Yeah. So I went to a journey where I got a great contract with a company called Williams-Sonoma Pottery Barn. Didn't know crap about DOT. Got set up. Went all over the Southeast in trucks on day rates. Like we went all the way through every day, put all my trucks out there. Next year, Safer Score had a hell of an eye-opening thing on DOT violations and whatnot. Had a marijuana charge, so most of the couple of main moving company, insurance company, didn't want to take me, and I was left with Progressive and a couple other companies, and I had that day of talk of, I have this one renewal for you on the day of, and it was sickening, the deal I had. So when I got that the day of, I had a 2-week lapse.
Oof.
And so you can see where I went here.
Yeah.
Because I got this crazy price that was not realistic whatsoever, right, on the day of renewal, and I couldn't pay for that. I was like, I don't agree to this. I can't do this. I did a lapse, and that hurt me so bad when you have a lapse in insurance, no matter what. Just that's the thing about insurance, too. If you really guys, no matter what, if they're sending you a thing to pay right then, pay it and figure it out later. Unfortunately, you don't want the lapse on that stuff.
Is there a way to negotiate? Is there a way to negotiate after that? Or is it you're just in this pickle, you got to work your way back out of it before those rate percentages drop? Like, because in Steve's situation and what you just said, Ryan, is just pay it. Like, don't let it lapse because it's going to affect you even worse. but you really don't want to pay this huge bill. So after you paid it, is there a way to reach out to my broker and say, hey, 3 months, maybe 6 months later, look, can we try and negotiate some of these terms during that year to bring down the cost, or you're just like, that's it?
Are you talking workers' comp? You're talking about work comp, right? Yeah. So I guess that would depend on the state you're in. Wisconsin, they file their own rates, so their rates are statutory. So every moving company in Wisconsin, it's the same rate per class code.
Yeah.
So it just kind of is what it is thing. But in terms
we
of,
have that in Canada as well too. And the more you F up,
right,
the percentage goes up. It's like here's your starting out as a moving and storage company. But the more claims, the more this. I mean,
my assigned risk is actually auto.
You refer to the experience modification?
Yes.
The mods, yeah. And that's obviously something that, you want to have your hands on. We say that the mod isn't so much of it's more so of a incentive for safety, not always a measure of it. You could have a big shock loss or like one off and it could drive your mod up. So, but a lot of that's just working in lockstep with your broker and your broker having a good relationship with the underwriter. That's something too that
big time
people don't understand. It's like, there's so much that goes on. Like, yeah, we're selling to you as a moving and storage company, but we also got to sell your account to the underwriter too. And it's about painting the picture.
Yeah, owners never. This is not the guy.
We're never thinking about that part of it.
This is not the guy to lie to on numbers. He's going to work with you on your numbers, just to say that. But this is right. He is not the guy to lie to on your numbers, because he's going to sell your company to people and say you're a responsible business owner. So the more tools you have to give him that, and the faster you can give him that, the better your chances are of getting a good rate, right?
And I would say too, I would challenge those watching this that own moving and storage companies. Like, challenge your broker. Like, hey, have you wrote a cover letter for my organization and sent it to the underwriters? What does this cover letter look like? What have you included in this cover letter? You're talking like the history of the organization, right? Any growth plans, right? Like the profile of the company. Like, it's more than just what's on paper, right? You really got to tell the story, and that's something that I think owners of moving and storage companies, your job is to run the moving and storage company. Not to really deal with the insurance, right? It's our job to paint the picture, and your underwriters who write your accounts, like, you should be meeting those people. They should be touring your facility. You should have a relationship with them. Not that you're going to call and reach out to them. That's our job. But like, you should know these people, and it's on the broker, me, if you will, to get those people in front of you. Because at the end of the day, like, they underwrite it for a reason. And there's a way you can tell the story. There's a cover letter that should be written. It should be in depth and just give the entire story. And now when you got claims, hairy claims, there should be a story on why that claim happened. Could that claim have been prevented? So there's a lot that goes into it.
There's a whole lot.
Recommend for moving company owners, when those claims come in or when a situation arises, to not just go to somebody that's working at, let's say, the Horton Group. Let's say you're working with me, right? You're my broker. You're helping me out. You're the rep. So a situation happens, and I'm just reaching out to the general inquiries of the Horton Group to reach out. Hey, this is the situation happens. Or should a moving company owner be like, no, like, contact your broker, contact your rep, and make sure that you're dealing directly with the him or her that's helping you out, as opposed to the generalization of the insurance company?
Yeah, we educate our clients in terms of the claim. When it comes to the claim, reach out to us. We have a claims team that claims advocates and stuff that work as part of the Horton Group. Like, they're employed by us and not the insurance.
That's very nice.
So then you're getting that different kind of perspective. The insurance company isn't like barking down your chimney. Like, you're dealing with like the internal folks at the Horton Group.
Again, another layer of tell the truth, give them everything, because then they're going to go represent you with all the knowledge they have to the company. That's a big perk.
We recently hired Ready Rolls to help us with hiring some offshore help, some VAs, and they've done an amazing job. They found the perfect candidate for our company to fill the right role for our company. And not only that, they helped us answer any questions that we had about the process. Initially, hiring a VA can be a bit intimidating, but they answered all the questions. It's been an amazing experience. Our VA has been a huge part of our success thus far. We're actually in the process of hiring a few more right now. Definitely see them as being a key part of our growth and reaching our goals in 2025. So, the game changer for our company, I'm confident will be a game changer for you as well.
Visit readyrolls.com. There is now a better way to scale.
Yeah, and that's all those people do is handle claims day in and day out. And then they work in lockstep with the carrier, whether it's Vanliner, Movers Choice, TransGuard, and kind of help drive that process along, because these underwriters or these claims folks in the insurance companies, they've got a stack how high on their desk of claims they're working through. So it's our job to help push them along.
Yep.
And either advocate for the claim to be covered or for it not to be covered. I mean, there's so much that the broker can do when these things happen that people don't realize. Like we have power, and working with a broker and have a good relationship with the carrier is extremely important. So, I mean, yeah, I would reach out to your broker and then get in touch with the claims advocate on the team and go from there. Like, you should be hands off when it comes to claims.
Right. The ideal candidate for you. Give me some of the things you're looking for that you're like, okay, awesome. He has a great CAB score.
Yeah.
He has this, and this. So what is the ideal moving, like, who would be the ideal person that you're going to get a good price for, that you're looking for when you get a client?
That's a great question. Well, well-polished organization, like we've got some, I guess, thresholds, if you will, as it relates to like number of units on the policy and things like that to drive certain premiums. I mean, like all of us, we have an ideal client profile, right? Our business was built to service certain types of organizations that got to drive so much revenue back to us. So, minimum of 10 trucks usually, but that's not to say that we won't take on an account with fewer trucks if their loss history is good, if they're dedicated to safety, if they're just a well-run organization.
That was my follow-up, was who do you not take?
Yeah, so really just those that aren't paying their bills, aren't committed to safety, aren't committed to putting good drivers out on the road, aren't committed to bettering the moving and storage industry, and really like that don't want to work, like don't allow us to help them.
Right. That's a big change,
I
right?
need you to
Hose-minded are sitting down, they're telling you this is what I need.
Yes.
So me telling you I'm a big dummy and I need your help, you're like, this is perfect. Yes.
You fit their avatar. They're exactly what they want. And you have more than 10 trucks? Perfect.
Yeah.
Steven, sign me up.
Yeah. It's just, and that comes with trust. Like if you got to trust, it takes a little bit of time to trust someone. And I understand a lot of these business owners, their guards up a little bit, and kind of as it should be. But there's so much that we can control, and there's a lot of power that we have as a broker when it comes to our relationships with Vanliner, TransGuard, Movers Choice, and those relationships, we're working on building those as much as we're trying to work on building relationships with our current clients and prospective clients. So, and that just helps the marketplace. That just helps you guys. If I got a great relationship with the companies that insure your industry, that's just going to help. When sticky things come up, because there are times where underwriters are like, well, I think it's about time we get off this account. It's like, well, hold on, pump your brakes here a little bit. Let's tell the story, right?
How has Horton Group stood out against all the other insurance companies that are out there? Yes, I mean, you go to these events, we're at the ATA, you might have another conference.
Besides the boots.
Besides the boots.
Now I'm really sticking out.
Yeah. But like, and we've had topics like this on the podcast where it comes to who do you find as a digital marketing agency? Who do you find to work with to provide your boxes? Like the list goes on, CRMs, there's everywhere, right? I met a brand new CRM that just came out, and you're like, oh my, here, the list just keeps expanding on. So how does the Horton Group stand out amongst all of the other companies, and what makes you someone that the moving company owners should reach out to work with?
Right. That's a great question. I would say, well, having been around since at least our practice since 1987, understand that in the grand scheme of things may not be that long, but over time you start to build a reputation, and really what has got us to where we are and why we're successful in our retention on our moving and storage book is incredible. It's much above industry high. I think it's like 97% retention.
Wow.
It's the service team. It's the backbone. There's very little turnover there.
It's not your boots.
It's not, well, it's partially my boots.
Boots are part of
I
it.
see an increase in new business after this podcast, this conference, because these boots are, although there was someone giving me a hard time yesterday saying that they're a little too shiny. But anyways.
Was it a local? Was it a local saying it?
No, it was not a local.
Oh, don't take it.
It was a nobody.
Oh, if it's not from Texas or Tennessee, don't take it.
But that's a really good question. And I appreciate you asking me that, because it gives me an opportunity to, kind of speak to the Horton Group. But it's the service team. It's the backbone of the team. It's getting certificates out quickly. I was just chatting with a moving and storage company earlier today, and they were sharing their frustrations on their broker takes too long to get the COIs out, certificate of insurance. I'm sitting here going,
You gotta get business.
That's like riding a bicycle. That's like waking up, putting your shoes on. That's like the easiest thing.
Yeah, once you've renewed that policy, I'm expecting
Let's see instant. You need instant.
And we actually have that situation at times too, where it's already January 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Like, okay, I get it. It's the holidays and everything. But for us to now have to constantly reach out to the broker, be like, hi, like, where is our COIs? Because we have so many of the, working under this umbrella, like under that with all these different companies that all want to be on those COIs.
Absolutely. And it could put a halt on
They're the ones that are already asking us.
Yep.
And now I have to reach out. It's like, why is this not on your list to take care of right off?
Here's the deal. They're flat out, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. When it comes to COI,
You're not.
you get the COIs out in a timely fashion. And, ahead of the renewal, far ahead of the renewal, that certificate list should be coming out, whether it's in person or sent, like, hey, who needs to be removed, right? Like, is this list?
Well, yeah, that too.
Really, right? Because you don't, some of you just don't need to send out.
And also who needs to be added.
Yeah, who needs to be added. So, but it's a service team. Like our service team who handles, like, our claims advocates, our safety professionals. We got boots on the ground in pretty much every state when it comes to safety.
Nice.
Very little turnover. Very little turnover. I mean, we've had Kim on our team, maybe 20 years or so. Michelle too. Like, that's just, and then they get super familiar with the account, and on the account, like you're becoming closer with Kim and Michelle than you are me.
All day.
And we also educate, we go out and visit our clients.
COIs. They're doing the stuff to make it happen fast.
We go out and educate our clients, sales reps on valuation versus insurance. So we'll go out and educate them on what that looks like, right? So that's a service offering
that's big. There's a misconception there in what we say. I think there's a couple of moving companies getting sued for claiming the insurance.
Well, that's one of the things I always learned early on was don't ever tell someone, hey, would you like to add insurance?
Right.
Because you are not an insurance company. You are not licensed to sell insurance. You do not want to be selling insurance. Right. You're going to get yourself in a big bag of worms.
Yeah.
So make sure you're letting your clients know this is a release value protection. It's not a BP. This is where, and so it's great to hear that the Horton Group is educating those companies to make sure that the sales reps that are going out there,
right,
those consultants are saying the correct verbiage because, just like Steven said, you don't want to get those fines and get in trouble.
What I hear from Ron and the Horton Group is they take, and you guys seem to take, the customer's protection extremely seriously and watching those blind spots that we have no clue we have.
Yeah.
And that's what we need as underwriters. And if you're not getting that from a friend or whatever that is, getting to a moving expert, they're supposed to be working for us. I can't stress that enough to our crowd.
And as you guys know, without a client, what do you have, right?
Yeah.
Like it's our duty, obligation, responsibility to see to it that you guys go run your moving and storage business, grow that business, whatever you're looking to do. It's on us to handle complex claim situations when they come in and help you meet your goals. Like, that's what our job is, really. Like, truthfully, like, and I'm really passionate about the industry, not even so much
I can hear it.
insurance, but like, I just love the fact that we can go out and we can help people. And when really crappy things happen, we can step in and help fix it. So,
I've been there before.
What's up, guys? Austin Yarbrough here, and this is your invitation to the Movers and Shakers event, April 28th, April 29th. I'm putting in the work right now so you can have the best event of your life. It's going to be life-changing. It's going to be amazing. And I'm just going to be there to help, and you're going to join the new family. This next family is here for you, and you're going to be here for them. April 28th, April 29th. Get your tickets. Let's go.
So yesterday there was a new terminology that got brought up specifically by Steven and another company that sells insurance. And I kind of want to elaborate on this because I've never heard about it in Canada, but it is captive insurance.
Oh, yeah, captive insurance. So I'm sure you can share that.
Share about that. Does the Horton?
Yeah.
It's a hot topic these days. ChatGPT seems to be giving that a solution.
And Grok 3.
I see a lot. Yeah.
It's not for everyone. There's certain.
Can you give the definition and explain?
Yeah,
of what that is.
So like a group captive is basically an insurance. You have some skin in the game, if you will, where there could be a return based on the profitability or how the captive performs. So it's a group of other like-minded businesses that all participate in basically, own an insurance program, if you will. And not every line of coverage goes into it. It's more so.
Okay, now act as if you're speaking to elementary students.
Yeah, elementary students. Okay, so
You need Steven's level. No,
You know what? Actually, you're in a captive, right?
I am.
What
I am.
I'm going to ask him this question. Why'd you join the captive?
I joined the captive for freedom. I was with a group like you that was really involved and helped me a lot be safe. And I went from this guy who had a lapse in coverage, like you said, to having an extremely safe 5-year plan that we would have made a lot of money coming back in captive. So I had the group compare what I paid in 5 years to what this group would be. And they showed me how much money. Yeah, they did look back. And then the main appeal is I didn't have Mover's Choice. I didn't have TransGuard. I had a smaller insurance company writing for me, and they had these real tough restrictions on my drivers. And I was really safe, and I was doing all the things, and I just wanted that freedom. And that was the big deal for me. I actually didn't save money the first year. I'm getting the money back this year that I saved, but I didn't save money the first year. I actually paid more to go into the captive so I could have that freedom to be a responsible owner and say who's going to get behind the wheel of my car, and I send it over and over. So that was my drive.
And so this is where I kind of want to understand it even more. So sell me what captive is for my moving and storage company. If I have a plan like Steven's, I'm working with a company like yourselves, and now I'm looking at it going, okay, well, we haven't had any claims. The company's doing really well. Our drivers are doing really well. Like there's no auto claims. There's no, high value damage claims.
Yeah.
If I'm in a captive, I can get a return on the money that I'm paying. That's the whole aspect of it.
Yeah. And what's the negative side? I'm saying pro because I'm in it, but tell us the
negative side is they could be tough to get into, but once you're in it,
why are they tough to get into? Like what are the insurance agencies looking at?
They want a safe company, right? They want a company that performs well. Losses have been, impeccable, like well-oiled machine when it comes to safety and how they, get out and train their employees, because
what's the minimum on that? Like 2 years of clean, where's that scale?
Typically it's like a 3 to 5 year look back, and they'll look at like not the course of claims on paper, but also what is it that you're doing as an organization to mitigate, prevent claims from happening.
My group's 5 years. Everything they talk about is 5 years. They reference that.
Yeah. So once you're in, the downside is, worst case scenario, you're paying significantly more than you would have been paying in a guaranteed cost program, right? Had you been with TransGuard or Mover's Choice, or Vanliner. That's the downside. But that they underwrite them so well, and they take on, companies that have a good profile and they're clean. So that usually there's a return. It takes a little time to get a return, like you said. But what we do is we do a 5-year look back. So we can take your 5-year guaranteed cost program that you were on or that you are on. We can do a look back. Here's what you would have paid versus what you did pay. And that look back, once that's done, and if it, it usually comes back pretty favorable based on the information that we're given. At that point, it's kind of a no-brainer. So,
and Mark just shared too. So what it is the group's getting together, and they're all kind of owners of this insurance. We all pay a member fee when we join.
Okay.
Right. And it's a business. And we're getting, some different groups that other insurance companies hire. We're using those same groups for claims and stuff like that, and paying somebody to manage it. But after those fees, after a certain point, say $2 million, we have to get something called reassurance. Right. And that's what we're all paying for. And we don't get that back, but it's a lot cheaper because we're covering the first $2 million of claims as a group.
Yeah.
So when somebody hits over that,
as
it goes over.
Of other companies, because you've paid this membership to. Now, what happens if that other moving company messes up? Does it affect you?
It does.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's like, I like this. I can see the pros. I can see the cons, because knowing that you have skin in the game, you are going to be way more on top of situations.
You're way more safe and looking into each other. And
that's what I was going to say. And now you're looking at the rest of this group going, hey, is it, how you doing?
Yeah. Right. There's not many people I've recommended in the moving and storage to my captive. I said, hey, y'all go to captives, but I didn't say much about it.
Well, that's why I'd start with the have your broker or the Horton Group do a 5-year look back for you. There's no strings attached. There's no
and that's mainly because the Horton Group is going to be managing that, right? Like just like a mastermind group, just like anything, you are trying to, as the insurance brokerage, as the underwriter, to look at, okay, we like this movie company, this movie, like we got, 8 or 10 companies and we think this is a great fit for this.
Correct.
Like you're not just, hey, we have, as it grows or more people want to be in, the circle grows. Or,
Yeah.
or is that different? Like, do you just make this massive circle or is it smaller group circles?
There's good question. There's different group captives, but like you don't, for the moving and storage industry, there's a couple different ones out there, and you're gonna enter into the captive that best fits the profile of your organization.
Yeah, I just have like this like vision of, I'm a moving company in a small town. The streets are barely empty. Yeah, it's easy for us to drive. No big issues. And the insurance company just put me in a captive because I have a great track record. They did a 5-year look back. And the other moving company in my group has an office in downtown LA.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Right.
Well, now what, right?
Yeah.
So with tons of tractor trailers and, low overhead,
The exposure still exists, but that company in LA, like, how safe are they? How clean's their loss history, right? So it's, if they're doing all the right things, then like the geography of it really doesn't matter a whole lot, if that makes sense. I get what you were saying. That was a really good point.
This is why you get a good person like him to look into this, because like there's so many unknowns in this world where he knows and to protect you for. And the first test he's going to say is Ron's going to tell you if you're ready or not.
Yeah.
He'll be like, oh, we're not ready to self-insure.
Yeah.
Because that vetting process is huge. My captive has 420 something members, I think. And we,
okay. So they are big groups.
yeah, we're big and we're we make sure we're very, very picky to get in. Like,
As you should.
on that side, it depends.
I feel like that's a long reply all email. Just that's a long thread.
Yeah.
Everybody agree? I.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool thing. I go to the Cayman Islands or something.
Yeah, they're all off site.
Yeah. I go 2 times a year. I go vote.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: why are they all off site?
Oh,
Not on this podcast.
on that. There are some local ones that are United States captives as well.
But why are they offsite?
Just
That's the voting on that side.
voting and stuff like that.
Yeah, the banking on that side and everything.
Financial piece of it and things like that. So
Sounds very shady.
It's not. It's not like The Firm. The movie The Firm or the Cayman Islands. It's a little different, but we go to Canada a lot in the summer, and we go to a different place. And like the people of my captive, in June you get your money back. From 3 years ago, you get that non-reassurance.
let me ask you real quick. I want to interject. What financially, how has it been for you? I mean, have you reaped some pretty darn good benefits from outside?
Financially, no. My price hadn't increased too much in the couple of years, but not
the risk, like
yeah.
the cost of it.
Bad question asked her. And
Yeah. It seems like I haven't got money back yet because you don't get it back till your 3rd year.
Yep.
That year 1, because they want to make sure none of those things people sue 364 days later, depending on the state later.
How is it trending?
Oh, it's great. It's great. Yeah, I'm really, really thrilled to be in the captive and happy to be where I'm at.
We'll
And
edit out
on
the
that
first part, and we'll just get Steven.
Financial.
I'm really happy.
Because it is fat tires. We get to say
Seen the fruits of the efforts yet.
no. I've heard for 3 years everybody I meet, the other 423 members,
Just one more day, Stan. Just one more day.
they say, "Well, just wait till you start getting to that 3rd year. That's when this makes sense to everybody." So that kept me hanging in there too. And encouraged on it.
Well, this has been great. I definitely am walking away learning some more. I'm understanding more of some of these options and policies that are coming out or already established and in there for all those that are watching and listening. And if you are not getting that underwriter, that broker that is helping you in your insurance, go reach out to the Horton Group.
Yeah, how do we get a hold of you, Ryan? How do you get a hold of Ryan Woods?
Yeah,
which is a rare unicorn who cares about us in the moving industry to help us out. How do we get a hold of you?
Well, I love it. I mean, back to that real quick. So how you get a hold of me? It's real simple. I'm a cell phone type of guy. Like call my cell phone.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that.
I like
Yeah.
that.
So it's 262-402-8204. That's how you can get a hold of me.
And talk about the
This is
boots.
not a dating podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know.
What? We're on the wrong.
I'm like, maybe I'll take the link to this podcast and put it on my dating profile now.
Okay, but say the cell phone number again, and also the website and
Yep.
email that you can get.
So
We'll have it in the description anyways for everybody, but
if you do a simple Google search, Ryan Woods, the Horton Group, my page will pop up. We go straight to the page, and my number's on there, my email's on there. But if I'm allowed to give my cell phone number again,
go for it.
Please.
Shout it out.
Yeah, 262-402-8204.
Yeah, remember, you always got to repeat that number twice because they're trying to write it down.
Yeah.
Thursday. Now they're stopping, going back 10 seconds,
Yeah.
rewind 15 seconds and then play it again.
Hopefully my phone starts blowing up here in the next couple of weeks.
That's right. That's right.
I think it will because there is open conversations going on right now, very heavy about these premiums and what we're going to do this year to make it where it's not the same premium next year.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of curiosity in the moving industry, as you said.
Yeah, it's not just me. Like I said, I'm more so the business development, expert at the organization. We've got a team of the insurance technical nerds behind us that
Sorry, shares the microphone.
You have to be. I mean, you got to have those people that really get leads on it. And I just the team's great. Shout out to the team, moving and storage practice group team with the Horton Group. You guys have been awesome.
You're not nerds.
Just such good people.
That's great. No, I appreciate it. They're not nerds. No, they're fantastic people. Shout out to the whole team. Ryan has been great. We're fantastic to have you on.
Yeah, this is fun
This
episode.
has been great.
Who thought insurance could be fun?
Who shot
I didn't
insurance could be
expect
fun?
this to happen.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to be at a distillery. Is that you want to do a podcast? And by the way, no prep for this either.
No, zero prep.
Walked over, just sat down. And
Wait, don't give everybody the secrets. This is we prepped a bunch of questions.
I'm going to give you a hard drill.
We told you yesterday that you're gonna be. No, I'm joking.
No, Mark knew the insurance. I've been drilling him about everybody wanting to talk about insurance, right? And so as soon as you came up, I said, "Ron, let's go talk.
Let's do it." And seriously, I'm naturally known as a pretty empathetic person. I really appreciate you guys, like seriously, wholeheartedly letting me come on here and giving me a chance to speak.
Well, we're gonna end it. We're gonna have a little wrestling match here. Let's see if I can get that bridge still.
Hey, we're
flip up there.
I think we should do it. We got plenty of room.
Plenty of room over there. Sounds great. Well, for all those listeners, make sure you are subscribing on YouTube. You are following us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever platform we are there. Make sure you
call Ron.
Descriptions, and we will have Ryan and the Horton Group's contact details. Reach out. It's as easy as a quick discussion and reviewing your policy. All they can do is either give you some great facts or tips to make it better, or you're switching over because of their team and their service is by far one of the top-notch teams to work with. So thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Steven, always a pleasure. You are looking fantastic in that green shirt.
It's the green Movified shirt. Who run it?
Who run it? Movified run it. Stay Movified, everybody. Until next time. Thank you.
Thanks.